So what is an alternate reality game? Well, simply speaking, an alternate reality game, or ARG for short, is an attempt to create a fictional or parallel universe in which players are invited to engage, collaborate, and solve puzzles towards an ultimate end. The first ARGs were mostly promotional materials for events like movies or video games, such as AI, artificial intelligence, but later alternate reality games have evolved to tackle more serious problems, such as the recent World Without Oil, which invites users to think about how they would survive and how they would ultimately thrive in a world that has run out of oil. ARGs have a single founding principle, which is TNAG, or this is not a game. This is the idea that everything that is going on within the ARG is in fact real and should be reacted and applied to as such. ARGs are run by puppet masters, people who work behind the scenes to orchestrate the events of what's going on. Again, in keeping with the idea of TNAG, puppet masters never reveal themselves but stay behind the scenes. The events of the ARG take place behind what's called the curtain, which is the boundary line that separates the real world from the game world. Now again, with the idea of TNAG, the curtain becomes ever more blurred, but it's important in playing ARGs to be able to distinguish exactly where the curtain is. The rabbit hole is the point or multiple points of entry that bring you into the game. Rabbit holes are usually websites because of the ease of replicability, but once you go past the rabbit hole, it's important to note that the ARG may actually expand into your real-world life. ARGs have been known to send people items in the mail. They've been known to email their real-world addresses and even call them on the phone and ask them to call different phone numbers as well. So again, the key word here is TNAG. This is not a game. ARGs normally require some kind of collaborative effort. The puzzles are usually too difficult to do on one's own. Let me give you an example of how one of the first ARGs played out. People who saw the trailer for the movie AI, Artificial Intelligence, noticed a strange job description buried in the credits of the trailer. People who Googled the name of that person then found her website, which described an apparent conspiracy against people who were building and creating artificial intelligence. This website was the rabbit hole that led people behind the curtain. People who continued and explored things like the phone numbers and emails listed there ended up getting emails and phone calls back on their own, drawing them further into the ARG. For many people, this culminated in live events in major cities where people were encouraged to take up arms against robots and AIs that were perceived to be usurping human prerogatives. So why are ARGs useful tools? Well, because they take the natural high that we get from gaming and our desire to see puzzles through to the end and apply it towards a learning end. McGonagall estimates that we spend something on the order of 3 billion hours weekly gaming, and further estimates that we need something like 21 billion hours of gaming to solve real-world problems. ARGs are potentially a means toward that very valuable end. ARGs also reinforce the value of community and collaboration in solving problems. Because so many of the puzzles are so difficult to do, ARGs require collaboration in order to succeed, a useful lesson in any field of endeavor. If you're interested in learning more about alternate reality games, I'd suggest you check out ARGNet, which posts upcoming and ongoing ARGs around the net, as well as Unfiction, which is a community of folks who are working on ARGs right now. Unfiction has a lot of different forums devoted to ongoing and completed ARGs. Good hunting, and remember, this is not a game.